Thank you so much for listening. If you'd like to offer dana, then please do go to justthiszen.org/giving. Your support really does make a huge difference. Thank you so much.
Welcome, everyone. It's wonderful to see you. Thank you for being here to support our first Just This Rohatsu celebration. And I've been invited to talk about what Rohatsu is and Buddha's life. And actually, as I've never experienced Rohatsu before, and I have only an untextured timeline of Buddha's life, I'm probably not best qualified to offer this talk. But, as in the head student entering ceremony, after saying this task is too great for me, I say, these are beautiful days, may your good health continue, and I will surrender to the task. So firstly, a little information which you may already know. In Japanese, Rohatsu means the 8th day of the 12th month. In the Zen tradition, it is the day when we celebrate the enlightenment or awakening of Shakyamuni Buddha. In Japanese Zen monasteries, Rohatsu is the last day of a week-long sesshin. A sesshin is an intensive meditation retreat in which all of one's waking time is dedicated to zazen. Even when not in the Buddha hall, participants endeavor to maintain meditation focus at all times, eating, washing, doing chores. Silence is maintained unless speaking is absolutely necessary. These are facts you can read about, but they don't convey the spirit of the day and its significance. So to be able to offer some of the spirit of the day from a personal perspective, I'm going to change the title of my talk from What Rohatsu Is and Buddha's Life to What Today Is and Your Life as Buddha. So, under this new title, I'm going to risk offering a tentative statement about Rohatsu. During Rohatsu, we celebrate and offer gratitude to our founding teacher, Shakyamuni Buddha, who embodied the boundless freedom which is inherently available to everyone. So far, this is my experience of the spirit of Rohatsu. In the lead up to today, Rohatsu is the smell of petals drying on the raybone and the rustle of already dried petals in various tins waiting to be scattered during the ceremony. It's feeling calmed and restored when proofreading Trudy's potent daily prompts based on the Eightfold Path, and feeling the same when I've received them every day this week. It's experiencing Trudy working out how to create a ceremony for the first time with care and respect that has been offered for hundreds of years, in this case, in an upstairs room in our home to be shared with our online community. It's rearranging our room to create something welcoming and beautiful for everyone. As Jack Prévert writes so tenderly in his poem, To Paint a Portrait of a Bird, first of all, paint a cage with an open door, then paint something attractive, something simple, something beautiful, something of benefit for the bird. So we've tried to create something attractive, something simple, something beautiful for Shakyamuni Buddha, and for all of us. And it's the sincere efforts of everyone to make this event happen. Questions like, will this work? Should we have this verse here? Have we got the timings right? Right up to the beginning of this event, and in fact, during it so far. And at this moment, as I speak, it's just this. This is our best effort in creating Rohatsu together. Suzuki Roshi said, Zen is to feel your way along in the dark, not knowing what you'll meet, not already knowing what to do. Most of us don't like going slowly, and we would like to think it is possible to figure everything out ahead of time. But if you go too fast, or not careful enough, you'll bump into things. So you feel your way along in the dark, slowly and carefully. When you do things with the spirit, you don't know what the result will be. But because you carefully feel your way along, the results will be okay. You can trust what will happen. And this has been my experience of our beautiful Sangha. I feel it's true for today. And I imagine it was true for Shakyamuni Buddha, finding his way after many years of dedicated, difficult practice in the dark, with way-seeking mind, with beginner's mind, to sit under the Bodhi tree. Sometimes it seems we really don't know what we're doing, and paradoxically, we really do. So what did Shakyamuni Buddha realize? To explore this, I want to look at the flower sermon, which happened towards the end of his life. It's also case 6 in the Gateless Gate. In the story, Shakyamuni Buddha held up a flower and blinked. Mahakashyapa smiled, and Shakyamuni Buddha said, "I have the treasury of the true Dharma I and the subtle mind of Nirvana, and I transmit it to Mahakashyapa." So can you imagine this time? The teacher just holds up a flower, he blinks, he looks round, and one person smiles, and he says, "I have the treasury of the true Dharma I and the subtle mind of Nirvana, and I transmit it to Mahakashyapa." Mizumi Roshi once memorably said, "Have faith in yourself as the way. Have faith in yourself as the way." In response to this koan, he said, "What is the treasury of the true Dharma I and the subtle mind of Nirvana that Shakyamuni Buddha transmitted? All the Buddhist teachings deal with this most precious treasure. It is your life. It is my life." This seems to me to be a very, very vast koan, a koan of a lifetime. But to simplify, in the few moments we have, if that is even possible, perhaps we can say it's about the mystery of transmission and the mystery of what is transmitted. And today we're interested in what is actually transmitted to Mahakashyapa. Mizumi Roshi goes on to say, "How can we experience the life we are living now as infinite, literally limitless life, as the subtle mind of Nirvana? For the irony is that we are all living such a life. We are all living this treasure, and we're also not quite living it either. I wonder if you feel like me, that you are not quite living this treasure that he describes." He continues, "We can say that our practice is to close the gap between what we think our life is and our actual life as the subtle mind of Nirvana. Or more to the point, how can we realize that there is really no gap to begin with?" So on this Sunday in December, can you really believe that there is no gap between your life and your life as the subtle mind of Nirvana? To conclude, he says, something is subtle, not because it is hidden, not because it is elusive, but because it is right here. We don't see it precisely because it is in front of us. There is a chapter in Appreciate Your Life by Mizumi Roshi entitled Shakyamuni Buddha and I Are Practicing Together. The Chinese Zen master Gensha lived 1200 years ago. As a student, after 2 years of being with Master Seppo, he set off on pilgrimage to other monasteries. On his way, he stubbed his toe on a rock and cried out, Where does this pain come from? The Zumi Roshi says, the body is empty, so where does this pain come from? When we stub our toe, we usually shout, this dumb rock, or I am so stupid, or other things. Yet in Genscher's case, he asked, where does this pain come from? And in that instant, he attained some realization. He didn't need to continue his pilgrimage. All of his practice, all of his life, had led up to the opportunity to stub his toe on a rock. So he turned around, abandoned his pilgrimage, and returned to Master Seppo, who asked, why aren't you on your pilgrimage? Why have you come back so soon? Are you all right? Genscher replied, being here is my life. Shakyamuni Buddha and I are sitting together, sharing life together, living together, breathing together, being drowsy together. I like that, being drowsy together. There's a beautiful poem by Mary Oliver. It's called The Buddha's Last Instruction. Make of yourself a light, said the Buddha before he died. I think of this every morning as the east begins to tear off its many clouds of darkness, to send up the first signal, a white fan streaked with pink and violet, even green. An old man, he lay down between two sala trees, and he might have said anything, knowing it was his final hour. The light burns upward, it thickens and settles over the fields. Around him the villagers gathered and stretched forward to listen. Even before the sun itself hangs disattached in the blue air, I am touched everywhere by its ocean of yellow waves. No doubt he thought of everything that had happened in his difficult life. No doubt he thought of everything that had happened in his difficult life. And then I feel the sun itself as it blazes over the hills like a million flowers on fire. Clearly I'm not needed, yet I feel myself turning into something of inexplicable value. Slowly, beneath the branches, he raised his head. He looked into the faces of that frightened crowd. Perhaps at this particular time, perhaps at any time in our difficult lives, we are the faces in that frightened crowd. And on this day, we're invited to make ourselves a light in this life as Buddha, a light in this life as Buddha. When Flint was offered Dharma transmission in 2021, he gave a Dharma talk during which he very movingly quoted Suzuki Roshi towards the end of his talk. He was practicing with Buddha. He was practicing with Suzuki Roshi. When Trudy and I were following a Hindu path, there was a phrase, God dwells within you as you. God dwells within you as you. We could change that a little bit. Buddha dwells within you as you. What Flint said at that time from Suzuki Roshi is this. Way-seeking mind should be realized in our actual world, which includes flowers and stones and stars and moon. The true way-seeking mind can only be actualized in full scale. Where there are human beings, there is the sun and stars, land and ocean, fish and grass and birds. And when we become aware of this big realm which includes everything, then we have big, big mind and big, big trust. Actually, the way-seeking mind is the conviction to fly as a bird that flies in the air, to enjoy our being in this vast world of freedom. And I wonder if one of the things that characterized Shakyamuni Buddha was conviction, a long life of dedicated practice which led to being under the Bodhi tree, perhaps a long life of dedicated practice which just leads to you stubbing your toe on a rock. The conviction to fly as a bird that flies in the air, to enjoy our being in this vast world of freedom. And if I was going to wish you anything on this special day, I wish you the conviction to fly as a bird that flies in the air, to enjoy your being in this vast world of freedom. Thank you very much.